Alright, I think the stream is live. Let me just double check. Alright, I think the stream is live. Let me just double check. Alright, I think the stream is live. Let me just double check.
Okay.
Alright, I think the stream is
Hold
live.
on.
Let me just double check.
Okay.
Alright, I think the stream is
Hold on.
live. Let me just double check.
Okay.
Alright, I think the stream is
Hold on.
live. Let me just. Okay, hopefully I fixed that audio issue. It looked like it was echoing a lot. Let me just bring it up. Yeah, sorry about that. I do not know what causes it, but the last couple times I've tried to stream, it's happened, and it's super distracting. Anywho, hello everyone. This is ZZ1000ZZ, and today I will be continuing my No Element challenge run in Chrono Cross. Currently trying to find out if this challenge run is even possible. So far we've made some decent progress in it. If you've played this game, then we are at the point where Kid was poisoned but has now been healed. And after getting her healed up, we went to the Water Dragon Isle to get protection from lava. What? So we can go climb a volcano. This probably won't matter at all, but we can, I believe, get a rainbow shell soon. There's another me that gave up writing poems? That's a good one, Serge. I never knew you were the romantic type. Then, I think I'll give the other me this. It's a compilation of all the poems I've written. Here, let me just sign my name on the cover, and here you go, Serge. That's a cute little thing. Earlier in this run, we talked to her and she read us one of her poems. Now we got a book of her poems and we'll deliver it to her other self. For anyone who hasn't played this game, basically there are 2 dimensions, and due to differences in how the timeline played out... Oh, why did I select the book of poems? Due to the differences in how the timeline played out between the 2 dimensions, different people wound up with different lives. The waitress we just talked to is from our home world, and she seems to be pretty happy with her poetry. Whereas in the other world, we will meet a waitress who is not happy with poetry because she gave up on it, thinking it was a fruitless cause. What's this? There's no title on it. Looks like a pretty shabby book. There's something written on the cover. A message from the author? Let's see here. You will find hope within despair. One who does not experience sorrow cannot appreciate joy. Good luck, me. This is my handwriting. It is, isn't it? So, there's another world where another me is pursuing my dream? Thank you, but I can't accept this. It just wouldn't feel reading it right now. One day, I, too, will write a book of poems, so just look forward to it until then, okay? Once my book is finished, I'll give you the first I'll give my first copy to you. When the time comes, please place it alongside that one. Thank you so much. I don't know if it'll be of any use to you, but I want you to have this. Yay! You do need rainbow shells for the best equipment in the game, but we won't be able to get that equipment in this run, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, right now, our next destination should be to go to the volcano if we want to progress the story, but first we need to get a little bit of level ups. I don't know exactly how many battles it will take this time, but we're going to fight a few super easy battles just to see if we can get some mini stat gains. Fortunately, it goes pretty fast since we kill these enemies super easily now. Okay, bit of HP for a couple of our characters. We will also be backtracking a little bit in today's playthrough. I realized after the last stream that I missed a couple things in Viper's Manor that I could have grabbed, so we're gonna go grab them. I have been trying to avoid looking up things as I play through, but after my stream, I do sometimes just go back and look up information. See if I missed anything super important. What I realized we missed is one recruitable character who I don't think we'll ever use, and a couple items. And one of the items might actually be quite nice. It's a sight scope. And we'll talk about what it does once we get it. Anyway, the grinding like this is of course kind of dull, like all grinding is. But fortunately, we're not going to have to do a lot of it here. Previously, I've been grinding up multiple characters to see which ones get what stat gains to see who I want to use. But I don't think we need to do that anymore. I think we've pretty well settled on which characters we're going to use for the foreseeable future. The reason being, Lena has gotten some really good stat gains. So she should be good enough that no other character... Well, likely no other character will be better, and even if one possibly could, it won't be by a large enough margin that I care enough to grind for the slim possibility. Okay, so that's 4 battles. Now the real question will be, what stat gains do we get in this mini level up? If I remember right, the last few boss battles we did, we weren't able to get any meaningful stat bonuses in between. And even the stat bonuses from the bosses were kind of meh, so... hopefully we get at least a little bit of strength on Surge or Glenn, because those are our main damage dealers. And let me move that cursor off my screen. Oh, okay, that is really good. So Surge got strength, Glenn got strength, resistance, and magic resistance, and Lena got strength as well. So, Lena actually has greater strength than Glenn does. That's unexpected. Lena also has more resistance and magic resistance, so... And, as a character, she starts with 90 accuracy instead of 85. It's very minimal. But, oh, and she also has a bit more agility. Man. So yeah, right now, Lena is just completely better than Glenn. We'll do one more battle in case we can get any more health. Sometimes, even after those big stat gains, you can get some more HP from fighting battles. Hey, an enemy actually gets in action. 1 damage. Yeah, we don't need to heal yet. We'll heal after we go to Viper Manor. In case there are any battles and we lose a little bit of health. I think this is our last battle, then we'll run over to Viper Manor. Okay, yeah, we don't get anything. Now, let's just quickly review what stats our other characters have so we can verify that Lena and Glenn are our best bets. Kid, I love you, but you only have 15 strength. Nikki's 13 strength is useless. 19 on Poshul isn't bad. Rekko has 20? Huh. I wonder if there's an argument to try to use Rekko over Glenn. You know what? Let's be thorough. I don't think there's any chance we will, but because Rekko and Poshul have high strength values, let's go ahead and see what they get in the next level. Because if they get strength here, that... okay. If any character gets strength from random encounters, that means they are guaranteed to get strength from the next boss battle. We've gone over that before, but in case somebody doesn't remember it. So the question is, do Poshul or Rekko get strength from random encounters? If so, that means they'll keep their relative position with Glenn and Alina. But if not... oh, they do. I was going to say, if not, then that means Glenn and Alina will pull ahead. Okay. 20 strength on Poshul, 21 on Rekko. Poshul also has 18 resistance to magic resistance, Rekko 17 and A. We do want to fight another battle or two to see if we can get some HP gains. Yeah, honestly, Rekko and Poshul both have bad stamina recovery. That's the main reason I would avoid them. But their strength is high enough that it might be worth using one or both of them at some point. Eh. Do they gain any HP here? If not, we'll move on. Oh, 2 HP for Poshul. Yeah, let's fight another. Basically, I'm just going to fight battles until they stop gaining stats, and once we go one battle without any stat bonuses, we'll leave. Yeah, Surge having 82 accuracy here is something I'll probably want to talk about in a little bit. It's relevant to the sight scope that we'll be getting in Viper Manor. Okay, nobody gets it. Any stat bonuses, so we're fine to leave. Alright, let's go ahead and put Glenn and Lena back in. So yeah, Glenn is at 19, so he's 1 point behind Poshul, 2 points behind Rekko. Lena, on the other hand, is at 20, so she is tied with Poshul and 1 point behind Rekko, so... Lena is definitely better than Poshul or Rekko, well, anyone really. But Glenn is pretty close. It's hard to tell if he's better than other people or not. The thing is, we will be using Glenn later in the game, so I'm going to, no matter what, grind as many stat gains as I can for him. We've been to Viper Manor before, and it's mostly abandoned now. But we want to go in to pick up a few things. Now, we don't have to fight this guy. We could take a different route. Fighting him is effectively entering the manor the same way as if we had recruited Pierre as our guide into the manor, way back when. The thing is, Pierre's route is fast and short, but it requires you basically storm the front gates and get in a bunch of fights. The other routes let you avoid fights, but they're longer and slower. So I don't want to take the boat all the way over to the cliff, like the bluffs, and climb the cliff wall, or go through the shadow forest and climb up through the well. Though if I did go to the bluffs, I could pick up a few treasure chests, so I guess there's some argument for that. Yeah, I think we want to go this way first. Alright. As you can see, there are almost no people in here, so it's much easier to navigate than before. Now, this room I don't think has anything useful, but we weren't able to go into it when we came to the manor before, so let's check it out. Oh, Riddle. Oh my goodness, that night, you were the ones who had risked her life to shield me. This is something I completely forgot about when we were playing earlier and we got to the scene. Kid was holding Riddle hostage just as, a human shield so we could escape. Link threw a poison dagger and it would have hit Riddle, but Kid jumped in front of it. At the time, I completely forgot that Kid did it and I didn't make a comment about it, but it is a cool detail that Link threw the dagger at Riddle. Well, that or he threw it at Kid and missed. But yeah, if Kid hadn't jumped in front of Riddle to save her life, Kid wouldn't have been poisoned, so. She may have been holding someone hostage, but she still has a good heart. But yeah, General Viper tried desperately to persuade his daughter to leave, but she refused vehemently. There are too many memories for her in this manor, fond memories of Dario. So yeah, Riddle tells us that she's worried about her father because he's acting strange and he went off to the Fort Dragonia we'll be headed toward. Up here, we get to see Lucia. This homosap flower is called Neophyte. As it matures, it will be... Yeah, I'm not doing accents. Hopefully that cough wasn't too loud. As it matures, it will behave just like a human. However, this Neophyte is like none other. It is a powerful type, with the ability to use elements. Naturally, it was I who improved it. One is able to train it if it blossoms, but a life sparkle is necessary. I have pinpointed the whereabouts of a life sparkle to a marsh east of Arnie Village, so I sent some of our dragoons to retrieve. However, none have returned. It is a shame, but I cannot allow any more loss of life. I suggest you stay away from that marsh if you wish to live. Now, if we had taken the route of trying to find an antidote to cure Kid's poison, we would have actually visited the marsh already. And we could go there if we wanted. But we'll have to go there later in the game, so I'm going to wait. Okay, sight scope there. That is huge. We'll definitely want to equip it on one of our characters. But let's just run around the manor a little bit more before. Now that was the one item I really wanted to get, but I think there's something in the library. I'll see if I can find it if so, but I might be mistaken. Yeah, I don't think we can fight this robot yet. Nope. We'll have to come back later in the game to deal with it. I don't even remember what's over that way. It still looks cool, but it doesn't look anywhere near as cool as it did the first time we came through here and it was nighttime. The shot with the two moons in the background at night was one of my favorite shots in the whole game. General Viper has headed for Fort Dragonia to the southeast. The four divas and most of the dragoons have accompanied him. It will be quite difficult racing the poor military there. You found a doorway that leads down. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. This is a really easy thing to miss. If I wasn't using a guide, I never would have found it. That is something. Oh, well, first, welcome. Take it. Use it. Hey, we get a frame, so we can change how our menus work if we want. Change your name? Uh, that each bum would let us change the name of party members so we could, like, get different nicknames if we wanted. What is this? Some kind of transport? Now, we don't really get to learn what it is, but if you've played Chrono Trigger, the game this is a sequel to, you may recognize that as a time machine. So we can't confront him about the weird ship he has there. Oh, no, I said racing when I read this dialogue before. It said facing. But yeah, later in the game we'll learn more about why he has some weird ship in his basement. But even up to this point, I believe he said we could call him the Prophet of Time. So that might give a hint. Now, I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay, yeah, we can't go there. I was gonna try to drop through the trap door, but I guess it's not an option right now. Uh, think there were two things I could have got. Oh no, wait. There was, yeah, maybe there was. Oh yeah, bronze helmet. This room we can actually open up. Yeah, decor shield. If we push this statue, I think I tried it the first time I came through, and it only spawned monsters. Hey. I think it didn't open the door, but I don't know if that's because I forgot to grab the shield. Oh. Okay. Now I got you. So that does open the door, but apparently we have to do this first. Where? There it is. Decor shield. When I first came through the Viper Manor, I kept expecting a fight with some suits of armor. This is the fight I was thinking of. It was just not in the room I thought it was. And I don't think we get anything useful from it in terms of equipment. But I think we'll be able to open a door once we kill them. Let's find out. Alright. Yeah, this fight was intended for you when you first come through the manor, so we are clearly way stronger than we were expected to be when we take it, but that's alright. Unfortunate miss, but fine. Here we go. I don't know if Lena would deal more damage than Glenn or not right here. I don't remember what accessories I have equipped. I may have strength boosting accessories on Glenn, but not Lena. Anyway, we get some stuff. Oh. Okay. I thought that would open the door. Am I wrong? Yeah, killing enemies with just a single 2 is fun. Hey. Alright. Yeah, it's set. Statue of Snake. Maybe I did something wrong. I thought we had to put the statue there, it would spawn monsters. Only if we did something wrong. Maybe I needed to put the shield in before I moved the statue? Is that what it was? Let's try that. Yep, that's what it is. That said... Oh no! We can't get through? I believe this guy is guarding the path. Oh yeah, see. It's no use. You need to bring the general here to get it. So he's guarding something that disables that trap. So us doing this right now didn't really matter. But what does matter is coming here means we get to recruit Lucia. What are you doing? Oh, I didn't realize there was an extra scene. Ha, 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 ha. I'm still new around here, so I got lost and ended up in here by mistake. Don't worry, I wasn't snooping around or anything. Really? Well, take care. So he wound up falling for the same trap we did, landed in a cage. And of course, he's acting very suspicious. First time we came through here, we saw that same dishwasher in the kitchen talking about how he was having a hard time investigating because he picked the job of a dishwasher and was too busy. So clearly, that dishwasher is very sus. And the question is, who is he and why is he being so suspicious? We'll find out later. What is it you... No accents, no accents. Well, would you like to join us? Without Pip, I really do not have any research here. I guess the time is right. I'm sure I can find some interesting research material if I tag along with you. I will join you. Yeah, I actually really like the accent system in this game. It can't do accents. Me and voice work are just bad in general. Does she have anything else to say? I guess I should get out more often and gather more research material. Yeah. Okie dokie. And there is one last thing I want to grab. I don't think it's going to matter at all. But it was bugging me that there was a locked door we couldn't open when we came through here before. The one next to Carl's room. Turns out there's a parlor key in that bucket. And that is what you need to open the door. I don't think it has anything we care about, but it's not much of a diversion to get since we already were coming this way. Yeah. Ah, wrong one. Well, real quick, let's check what Lucia's stats are like. 14 strength? Yeah. We're not going to be using her this run. But anyway, we'll use the parlor key. It opens the door and a chest. Hey, a demon charm. Cool. I don't remember if there was anything else that we forgot to grab. But if so, I'm not worried. We didn't really need to come here and do this, but the sight scope may become useful later. Well, actually, it'll be useful right away. First, though, we are going to run back and do a couple random encounters. Normally, I wouldn't do it because we don't need to, but I want to show why I'm interested in the sight scope. The sight scope is an accessory that increases our accuracy. We already have an item that does this called the Silver Loupe or Lupe. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's Loupe. What's interesting is how these things stack. Note, Surge has 94, 82, 872 accuracy. Glenn has 94, 82, 72 accuracy, so they're identical. Lena has 92, 78, 68, so her accuracy is significantly lower. You don't need to fight the battle to show what I'm, or to see what I'm about, to see what I want to show. So, Glenn and Surge have the same accuracy. Lena has significantly less. The reason for that is Dragoon's Honor improves hit rate, and so does the Silver Loop. Lena doesn't have anything like that, so let's give her the Sight Scope. Lena now has 96, 82, and 72, meaning she is the same for accuracy on her 2 and 3, but actually higher accuracy on the 1. Now, you may remember back when we were looking at level ups and stats, I mentioned Lena had higher accuracy as a stat, and you can see it here, 90. Interesting thing about character accuracy in this game is it only affects the chance to, or the accuracy of your 1 stamina attack, your weakest attack. Your 2 accuracy and 3 accuracy attacks are affected only by your equipment and the just general game values. So character accuracy, like that 90 here, makes Lena 2% more likely to hit on her 1s than Glenn or Surge with their 85s. That said, it gets more interesting. We already saw that in giving her Lena the Sight Scope gave her a decent boost to her accuracy. So, what if instead we stack that accuracy on someone else? After all, we only want to use 2 attackers for the most part anyway, so having one person with just crazy high accuracy would be really valuable. Glenn just got the Sight Scope put on in addition to the Silver Loop he already had, so before he was tied with Surge for accuracy, now he is tied with Surge for accuracy. Equipping the Sight Scope when Glenn already had the Silver Loop equipped does absolutely nothing. Now, let's try unequipping both items to see what happens. So, the only thing he has is the Power Glove, which does not boost his accuracy. Now, we saw having the Sight Scope and Silver Loop did nothing to his accuracy. Having one or both of them does make him tie Surge for accuracy, and with neither of them, his accuracy is significantly lower again. So how does this work? Well, it turns out there is a cap to how high accessory accuracy bonuses can improve things, and what we're running into is that cap. So, stacking accuracy bonuses from accessories specifically doesn't work. Or does it? Now let's try seeing if we have a different weapon for him so I can show this. Yeah, so we're going to drop from a steel sword down to a bronze sword. And then we'll drop Lena from a iron weapon to a bone weapon. Let's give Lena the Sight Scope. And Glenn has no accuracy bonuses at all. So let's see what what Glenn's accuracy is like with a bronze sword and no accessory or accuracy boosting equipment. 88, 76, 66. Lena with a bone weapon and 1 accessory boosting equipment. It's significantly better. Which is to be expected, but what's weird is what will come up next. Before equipping the silver loop on Glenn made his accuracy tie with Surge's. Of course, we have lowered Glenn's weapon tier, so 94, 82, 72, with Glenn having a lower weapon tier and the same accuracy boosting accessory as before, we would expect it to be lower chance to hit, and yeah, that's exactly what we get. But we saw before, equipping 2 accessory boosting accessories did not do anything for Glenn. What if we try the same thing now? There are 2 possibilities. One, equipping both of them together will have no effect, just like when Glenn had this Iron Sword equipped. Or it will have an effect to bring him up to Surge's accuracy of 94, 82, 72. And it did. As it turns out, accessory boosting equipment does stack with one another up to a threshold. That threshold also factors in your weapon accuracy. Basically, Steel Sword plus 1 accuracy boost gets you to the cap of accuracy that accessories can bring you to. So Steel Sword plus 1 accuracy boost, or in Glenn's case, you could have a Bronze Sword with 2 accuracy boosts, or let's look at Lena with her bone weapon. I can just tell you, Lena would need plus 3 to catch up since she has a bone weapon. Basically, Iron Sword plus 1 is equal to Bronze Sword plus 2, or a bone weapon plus 3. Why does it work this way? I have no idea. But it actually means the sight scope does nothing if you already have the silver loop equipped and you have a decently high tier weapon. I believe, if I remember right, later in the game, your weapon tier gets so high in terms of accuracy that accuracy boosting equipment doesn't do anything at all. Though I'd have to double check that to be sure. But anyway, for now we will give Lena the sight scope. So, Surge has a Dragoon's Honor for some accuracy boosting, Glenn has Silver Loop, and Lena has Sight Scope, so they should all hit their accuracy caps given they have iron weapons. It's just weird that putting 2 of these accuracy boosting accessories on any of the characters has 0 effect. Plus, it's also kind of weird that it would do nothing, or that Lena's higher character accuracy does nothing for us. 1 sec. I forgot what world I'm in. Yeah. Okay, we are in the another world, so we're in the world we want to be. Anyway, it is kind of weird that Lena having 5 more character accuracy than the other characters means she gets plus 2% chance to hit on her weak attack, and yet it has no effect on her medium or strong attack. The game's accuracy system is very, what would you call it? Interesting and poorly explained. I think that's the best way to put it. But yeah, I think once you get to like silver tier weapons, accessories do nothing for accuracy. I'm sure he might be stoned here where that happens. Anyway. It's not important really, but it's a little bit of interesting trivia I picked up on. I don't remember if I learned it during my last challenge run or just in the last year or so, but as far as I know, it is not documented anywhere other than I talked about it on a message board named GameFAQs. And yeah, as far as I know, that's the only place it's ever been posted about on the internet. So, mentioning in this video may help a few more people learn about it, or it may not, I don't know. But I think it's interesting, so there we are. Now, the next part is going to be annoying, if I remember right. I believe the next fight is against Salt and Pepper. Oh, wait. We got the Water Dragon Blessing, which gives us this Ice Breath. We could hold off on using it because there's a chest to the left there. And once we freeze the lava, we can't pick the chest up. However, as with most things in this run, that chest doesn't do anything for us, so we're going to ignore it. And then let's see if we can ignore that enemy. Yeah, if this is Salt and Pepper, then this is going to be an annoying part. Yeah, it is. Okay. Ah, they're really here. This time, let's shake. Okay. If you saw a previous video, you saw I had to grind. I think it took me 11. Yeah, it took me 11 attempts to get the rare drop from Harl. Well, this is another battle we're going to have to grind in hopes of getting a good item. This time we shall not be beaten. I shall blow them to pieces with one of those powerful elements you brought me. Really? You mean one of those summoning elements? Now we're shaking? How tragically tragic. I hate to tell you this, Pepper, but I just remembered that I lost the summoning element I had with me. What do you mean you lost it? Don't tell me you dropped it or your dog ate it or some other stupid excuse like that. You're asking for a darn good shaking if you do. No, I'm not that stupidly stupid, you know, Pepper. Actually, you must know that centipede monster in the Hydra Marshes stole it from me. And I was enjoying that. Huh. Sorry, I got distracted because the centipede monsters in the marshes can cast a summon spell named Golem. But it's actually a weaker version of the normal Golem summon. And I just never made the connection that the game tells us the way the monster got that summon is Salt lost it to the monster. That's cool. Anyway. They're going to explain that the enemy monster used a trap element for the summon, and then he used the summon, and that caused the monster to steal it. And now, he'll demonstrate how that works by casting a trap element. And voila! Salt managed to trap Pepper's black hole element. And, of course, they're the kind of comic relief, and they messed up. So yeah, he can't give the element back, so Pepper is telling him, well, if you can't give it back, then use it. And of course, Salt points out that, you can't use the same element in battle, so we get this iconic moment. I love the tempo in there and how you can't like mash the X button to advance it. You have to just sit there as he is slowly what did you just say? Random thing, in the remaster of this game, they changed that dialogue So instead of just a W, it's WH, and I think they changed a bit more about it, but the big and most obvious thing is that instead of a bunch of W's, there's a bunch of WH's. But I honestly think that the remaster's version of that whole dialogue is just so much worse because of such a what one could view as a very small change. Oh wait, did I mess up Glenn's equipment? I think his accuracy is lower than it should be. Oh shoot, I never switched Glenn and Lena's weapons back. I switched their accessories, but not their weapons. Okay. Well, I'm a dum-dum. But yeah, anyway, I would genuinely get a little annoyed if I had to grind this battle in the remaster watching the changed dialogue. Because while it may not be that big a change in concept, to me it really does affect the nature of just how it feels. Of course, to each their own, some people might not care. Mostly, I just don't get why the remaster made a bunch of little changes to dialogue like that. Or why it is that, for the most part, people don't even know or notice. It's very strange to me. A lot of people still, to this day, think the remaster only changed like 2 lines in the entire game. In reality, the remaster goes through every single line of dialogue in the game and makes small cosmetic changes like the one I just mentioned. Anyway, point of this video is not to harp on remaster or anything like that. Now, what sucks is the odds are, you might notice I'm actually using the speed up feature a little. That's because I am fully expecting to have to redo this fight a number of times, and that is the one time I'm willing to, use external tools to affect things. Okay. So, what we're resetting for is either a Dragoon's Honor or Dragoon's Gauntlet. I don't remember which offhand. But it's an accessory that will boost our offensive capabilities, and we are very limited in this run in terms of what we can find to boost our, well, anything really, offense or defense. So in this rare exception, I will sit here and grind, and I will go ahead and use the emulator speed up tool to make it go a little faster. Okay. Now, you'll notice this time I remembered to change my equipment. Not just my accessories, but my weapons too. Then I'm going to come in here, freeze the lava. Then I'll go outside and save the game. That way, the next time we have to reload, I will not have to do both of those things again. Also, I did increase the reload counter. We are now up to, it looks like, 15 reloads for this run. Yay! The question is, how many more reloads will we have before we get this one stupid item? Honestly, I don't know how valuable this item will be. We already have a few other items to boost our offensive power. And it will take a fair bit of time since we have a lot to go through each time we reload, but plus, the battle itself actually takes a decent amount of time to get through. Oh. One interesting thing is, Pepper is so mad at Salt that killing Salt will actually make the battle worse, in that as long as Salt is alive, Pepper might attack him instead of attacking us. I don't think it's a big enough issue that we should care, because To be honest, I'm just gonna try to get through this as fast as I can. Oh, what? That was just a misclick, but as soon as I saw the element on my screen, I was like, I could use an element and speed up this battle. Would it really matter? On the one hand, no, it doesn't matter. We've already seen that I can easily beat the boss. So using an element just to speed up how quickly I grind isn't necessarily cheating. And I've already accepted that excuse for justifying using the speed up tool, but... Oh, wow! Well, what I was gonna say is, personally, I just feel a little uncomfortable with it, even if it might be justifiable. But, wow, shock! We got the Dragoon Gauntlet on our second try. That is really cool. Okay. That genuinely surprises me. Awesome. Anyway, the Dragoon Gauntlet... We already have one of those, right? Yeah. So the Dragoon Gauntlet increases your power by 3. Just as a warning, the game here kind of lies. It adds your strength and your equipment power directly together. That's not how the game's mechanics actually work. I've talked about it at length on message boards, so I won't go into it, but basically, we could, for today, treat the Dragoon Gauntlet like +3 strength. Even saying that, I hate it, because it's not. No. It would be closer to +4 strength, but whatever. Okay, so we can replace the Power Glove with the Dragoon Gauntlet, giving Glenn, quote-unquote, +2 strength. And... I like our having defensive equipment, and +1 strength on... Yeah, no. This is fine. So yeah, in a sense you could say that we just gave Glenn +2 strength by reloading to get that equipment. And if you want to be more... or closer to accurate, you could say we gave him +2.5 strength. And if we really wanted, we could give it to Surge, who are by unequipping Surge's helmet, and just stack all of our power on one character. Later on, we probably will do that. But yeah, since I have a moment while we go heal up, basically the game system doesn't add your character strength and weapon power together. They multiply the two together. And what that means is the more character strength you have, the more value you get from increasing equipment power and vice versa. Basically, if you have 10 strength, 10 weapon power, you could look at it as multiplied together, you get 100. Adding... Sorry. Actually, I'm not going to be able to pick up numbers very well. Anyway. So 10 strength, 10 weapon power multiplied together, you get 100 as your attack power. If you then add 10 strength or 10 weapon power, you would have 10 multiplied by 20 for 200 weapon power. If you instead added 5 strength and 5 weapon power, you'd get 15 multiplied by 15, which is... what is that? Wait, am I wrong? 15 times 15... 70... Oh yeah, that's 225. Sorry, for a second I thought it came out to 175 and I was very confused, but nah. Yeah, so the point is, +5 and +5, so effectively there's, you want the two sides of the multiplication to be as close to equal. If you just keep increasing one side and you don't increase the other, you don't really get as much value. And that's why it is often best to just stack all of your offensive boosting equipment on one character, or, more specifically, stack all your physical boosting equipment on one character and all your magical boosting equipment on another character, and use those as your primary damage dealers for the two types. Anyway, I think... Oh wait, what am I doing? We just fought a boss battle, didn't we? Wait, did we? No, that one didn't give us any stats, right? No, it didn't. Okay. Wait, why didn't it give us stats? Oh, right, I think if you are on one path through the game, you get stat bonuses from that battle, but if you're on the other path, you don't, or something like that. Normally I would probably run from this battle, but they both already attacked. Well, no, let's run. I was gonna say they both already attacked, so we'll be able to do a lot of damage before they get another action. But there was a third enemy. The main thing is, will we be able to run around this person? Or, well, not person, but enemy. The path to the right will take us, I think, to treasure. Like, there's a chest or two we can get that way, but I don't care about it. Because I'm 99% certain the treasure in this dungeon is useless to us. So again, we will freeze the ice. There's the treasure chest we can get. By the way, we will be coming back through this area later in the run, so if I care about these treasure chests, I can pick them up then. Oh, wait, no! Go back! There was a save point! Let me save! No! Oh, thank God. I was afraid I was about to be forced into a boss battle without getting saved. Like, yeah, we did save just a minute ago, but if we had to reload from that save, we would then have to go back through those few screens. Wait, is the fire dragon next, or do we fight some more of the humans? Okay, yeah. What is that? It looks stuck. That looks like a fire dragon, but wait, mini dragon. Hey, lad, want to challenge me to a fight? Come on, what do you say? Yeah, so on my last run, this boss gave me a ton of trouble. We'll see how we do on this run. Now, the first thing is, again, like against Marcy, we're going to run away because there's something pretty interesting if you do. Hey, no, I want to challenge you, lad. Hey, lad, want to challenge me to a fight? Come on, what do you say? See? Even though you can run away, you instantly, or you automatically get forced back into the fight. Against most enemies, you may not be able to leave the area when you run away, but you can at least go into your menu to, like, heal or stuff like that. This is, I believe, the only exception in the game, though don't quote me on that, I could be forgetting it, like, one more example. Alright, so Surge did like 120, 130 damage. Now this is a red enemy, so Lena should be particularly good. So that's 70-ish. Oh wait, Glenn has our power boosting equipment, so Lena's not going to be as good as I was thinking. Now you may notice I didn't use the full 7 of stamina on anyone there. Ow, Lena took a lot of damage. The reason for that is I believe Fire Dragon acts every 6 to 8 units of time. Okay, yeah, so Lena not having the power boosting equipment is going to make her much weaker in this battle than I expected. So if we have to reload, I'll switch the equipment a bit. But yeah. Well. But yeah, let's just test my theory. I think after this too, the dragon will attack. Yeah. See, I used 7 points of stamina, and the enemy was able to attack. This time I used 6. So there is some variance in how fast the enemy will attack, but we did confirm it can attack at least every 6 units of time, which means we want to use 5 stamina worth of attacks, and then we want to go ahead and use either like a 2-3 or 3-3. That way we get the most stamina used per turn cycle. Alright. We did get a little unlucky in that attempt because Lena was hit by, I think, literally every attack. But we also didn't have the right equipment on her, so. Oh, wow. Yeah, she had the moon glasses equipped, which gives her a defensive bonus, and she still took that much damage from the dragon. That is kind of scary, actually. I wonder if I even should be using Lena for offense with how brutally she got beat up. Now, let's try it. Wait. Well, yeah. I can't give Glenn Lena's helmet because he already has one, so is there something else I could give? Oh, a power glove. Okay. So yeah, he loses 1 attack, or loses the 3 attack power from the Dragoon's Gauntlet, but gains 1 from the Power Glove, so net loss of only 2. Okay. So Surge did 100 damage there. With the change in equipment, Lena did, what was that, 93 damage? Glenn now deals 64 damage. So yeah, Lena's damage is significantly higher than Glenn's with this change. Surge is still the best by far, though, I believe. Yeah, 100. Okay, now we are going to try a 3-3. Okay, 117. So yeah, what we're going to be trying to do is 2-3 into 3-3. 2-3 uses 5 units of time. The Fire Dragon can act at the fastest every 6 units of time. So we use 5 units of time, then I believe they call it stamina pushing, where we use 2 3s in a row. And as long as we input the attacks fast enough, the game will not let the enemy attack in between them. Yep. And you might have noticed something cool there. Lena used 6 stamina, where Surge only used 5. Yet, Lena still has 6 stamina to use for attacks. That's because she regenerates higher than average amounts of stamina. I think it's 1.1, but it might be 1.2, I forget offhand. Nice and easy. Wow, that was... okay. But yeah, we saw part of why that was so easy is the first time the dragon just focused Lena, and this time he attacked a bunch of different people. I think he also didn't use his elemental attacks as much. Plus, I'll be honest, we got lucky with our spree threes. I don't think any of our sprees ever missed. Actually, I don't think we missed a single attack that combat, did we? We might have, and I might be forgetting, but yeah, we might have actually won that battle without missing a single attack. If so, good RNG. Anyway, dang. So Surge gets strength, Glenn gets strength resistance and magic resistance, and Lena gets strength. Those are some pretty decent stat gains. And a magic ring is useless for us. Hey, not bad, lad. I'm sure I'll see you again. And yes, we will see him again. Now, I don't remember if there's another boss battle before we leave. Ooh, but we are burned. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we do fight one more boss battle. Now, normally I would play it safe, run all the way back to town, heal up, before finding out if there's another boss battle. Oh, especially since we need to go grind stat gains. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to check, and then I'm going to try running away. Huh? Is that you, Glenn? Why are you with these bozos, huh? Please, Kirsch, we need to get to her. I need to see for myself what has happened. Even if that means leaving the Dragoons. Ha! You call yourself a Dragoon? But in the name of the Acacia Dragoons, you ain't getting past here. This will be the end of you all. I don't care about you, Glenn. And Surge, I hate you. I hate your friends, I hate your mom, I hate your dad, I hate your grandma, I hate your grandpa, your great-grandma, I hate them all. I hate you. I despise you. I really, really abhor you. Mercy's so over the top, it's actually kind of adorable. Anyway, I mostly want to see, can I run from this battle then go back to town or not? It'd be a pretty dumb reason to have to reload, but it's not like the reload counter really means anything. It's just for my amusement, and no, it's mostly just for my amusement. Okay. Will they let us retreat? Run, you cowards! Run! Run for your lives! Huh! That's actually kind of cool. Yeah, it's interesting that right after fighting the mini dragon, who immediately attacked us after we ran away, we get a fight where we can just run away freely, then leave the dungeon entirely. Since I'm here, let's just go ahead and grab that. Capsule. Not very relevant. Tablet! Yay! Healing elements that we can't use. I just noticed where my mouse cursor is. Sorry about that. Let me get rid of it. Yeah, we're gonna run back, heal up, and grind for stat gains. Oh my god. I swear on a controller I would have juked that enemy instead of running into a wall and starting a fight. That said, we already killed the only boss that we're going to in this trek to the dungeon, so let's just fight these guys. An interesting... oh, never mind. We're fighting a cat burglar, not a lava boy. The lava boy is that big enemy that was chasing us around slowly, like jumping up in the air. And it has some interesting loot you can get. I think in this version of the enemy, you can steal some shoes, like dancing shoes or something, that improve your character's evasion. Which I'm not sure would ever be worth equipping, but it's cool. It's cool mostly because there aren't a lot of ways to improve your evasion in this game, and I don't know if you can get those boots in many other places. I think you have to, like, find them in a chest or steal them from like 1 or 2 enemies. But anyway, in the other world, which when you go through the same area, you'll fight those lava boys again. And they actually have an item that will be relevant for this run, because we can get it as a drop. We can't steal the shoes because we can't steal, but we can get as a drop, what is it? The gold earring. And the gold earring is actually one of the few ways we'll ever be able to heal outside of resting in an inn in this run. What it does is it increases your maximum HP by, I think, 25%, or it's by a decent amount, I think. It might be less, it might be like 1/8, not 1/4. But anyway, what it also does is when you enter battle, it'll increase your max HP, but also your current HP. So if you're at, say, 200 out of 200 health, it might increase your health to 225 out of 225. And the reason, of course, that's to increase your current health, not just your max health, because changing your health from 200 to 225, or I'm sorry, change your health from 200 to 200, right, to 200 out of 225 wouldn't really be useful. But because it increases your base health, there's a cool quirk where at the end of the battle, it doesn't decrease your base health. So if you went from 200 out of 200 to 225 out of 225, well, of course you just go back to 200 out of 200. You can't have more health than max. I'm going to do one more battle and see if we get stats. If not, then I guess we don't need to grind stats after that boss bout. But say you had 100 out of 200 and you went from that to 112 out of 225. At the end of the battle, you could go back to 112 out of 200, effectively healing for 12 HP. Now, will that be relevant in this run? I don't know. We may not need that sort of healing, but I do plan to make sure I get a couple of them. Huh, I guess we don't get many level ups at this point. Interesting. In that case, let's just check how our other party members are coming. Mostly it was Poshul, and was it Greco? Oh man, Kid's still at 15, Nikki's at 13, Lucia at 15. Yeah, that's all sucky. Poshul's at 21, Greco is at 22 though, so okay. Yeah, Greco and Poshul are still looking good, so there may be times that we decide to use them in this next dungeon. Anyway, about what I was saying, part of the reason I want to talk about getting that item from the Lava Boy is I believe one of the enemies in our next boss battle will drop one of those gold earrings, and thus we will finally have access to healing that doesn't require us run back to town and rest. And again, I have no idea if it'll ever be relevant, but it's cool. I didn't even know that was the thing you could do because it never came up until I attempted this run last year and I discovered it in that run. So it's neat learning little things like that. That said, after this next boss battle, we shouldn't have to run through that dungeon anymore. We are headed to Fort Dragonia, which I'm sure we will have to leave to heal up multiple times. But the good thing is, once we clear the next boss battle, we can run through Mount Pyre without on the world map. We don't have to go through the dungeon. Effectively, once you go through a dungeon one time, the dungeon stops blocking your path on the world map. And I've always had a small hope that someday that'll lead to a sequence break where we find out a way to go through, say, Mount Pyre on the world map without having to actually go through the dungeon. Like, where we somehow set the event flag as if we had gone through the dungeon without actually having done so. Will that ever happen? I don't know. Probably not, but speedrunners find exploits in all sorts of games, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. Alrighty. I don't think this battle should be too difficult, but let's find out. What happened? I thought you went crying home to mommy. Now, die. Or, now, die. I do really appreciate that the game makes it interesting to run away from battles, including boss battles. Like, they went the extra mile of adding a bunch of dialogue and then having different battles handle it differently. Now, here I have no idea who the most threatening person is. So I'm going to start with Marcy just because her boss battle was scary. After that, I think I'll go for Karsh just because he's yellow and Glenn's green, so Glenn will deal bonus damage. Wait, yeah, Lena has the equipment. Let's see what kind of damage Lena deals. Oh, wow. Sorry, every time Marcy talks, it makes me chuckle. Okay, Marcy went down a lot faster than I expected. Geronimo. Yeah, honestly, I think Marcy was more dangerous in her solo boss battle than she is here, despite it being significantly further into the game. I guess it's not surprising, though. Like, there's 3 enemies in this battle, so of course they want her to be weaker. Hmm. Alright. Now, Glenn is pretty low, so there's some risk that he'll get killed. But I'm not super worried about it. Because that last attack didn't deal all that much damage to him, so I think he'll be fine to tank at least one more hit. Assuming he even gets targeted. Okay. So 38 and 60. Out of curiosity, how much damage would Glenn deal? Yeah, he deals way less damage than Lena right now. You might be surprised by that, given the field is green. Well, 2/3 green. I think the other third was yellow, so +1 green. But if when you are attacking an enemy of the same innate as you, you don't get the field bonus. Okay, so HP, resistance, and magic. Magic is useless, so effectively just strength, or just physical resistance. Glenn gets strength and physical resistance, that's perfect. Well, perfect would also include magic resistance, but I'm not greedy. Lena gets more strength. Hey, yeah, there's the gold earring I was talking about. Sweet. Impossible. There's no way I'd lose. Harsh, it is almost time. Damn it, I'll get even for this. Na 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 na. Or, I don't know how you would read that. Anyway, just to show what I was talking about because I think it's cool, let's give Glenn that gold earring. So right now, he is 76 out of 225 health. We find an enemy over here. Hey! I'm so used to having to avoid enemies that it genuinely surprised me when I tried to run at the enemy and missed. Anyway, now he's at 82 of 225. Huh. So 82 out of 225. After the battle, he has, wait, 82 out of 225? Am I missing something? Please don't tell me I'm crazy or remembering wrong. Yeah, see, he's 88 out of 225. So his current health is going up, but his maximum health... I wonder... Okay, so right now his current health is increasing like I would expect. 6 points out of 82 is... what, roughly 12%, I think? No. 8%? Yeah, about 8%. So about 1/12 or something? I don't know. No, I'm sorry. 12% or 1/8. So yeah, it's going up by about 1/8 his total health. But that is not increasing his max HP. Now, that got me wondering, could it be that if your current HP is not... Or could it be that if the increase to your current HP does not make it go above your max HP, your max HP doesn't get affected? I think it could be. I don't know if I said that very clearly, but anyway, Lena is going to try. She has 161 out of 216 health. Yeah, see, she went up to 173 out of 216 health, meaning she gained 12 HP, but her max health did not increase. So I think what's happening is the gold earring increases your current HP by a flat percent, which I think is like 8%, or 1/8 of your current health. I don't know. But your max HP is unaffected unless the increase would put your current HP above your max. So yeah, 186. We're gonna run away. I think next battle, Lena will have like 200 or so HP. Let's see if I'm right. If I'm right, she'll have about 200 HP. The next time we do this, she'll go up to about 213 HP. Yep, 200. So I'm guessing she's going to have about 213-ish HP, give or take a little. But my guess is her max HP will stay at 216. So let's see, like 213, maybe 214 here. Okay, 216. It was more than I thought. But anyway, if I'm right, next battle she's going to have something like 232 out of 232. And if so, then what that means is the gold earring increases your current HP and only adjusts your max HP if the boost to the current HP would put it over the max HP. Oh, no, it doesn't even touch your max HP at all. Oh! I'm crazy. I thought it... Okay, well... Good to know. I was greatly overcomplicating things. So yeah, the golden earring doesn't affect your max HP at all, it just affects your current health. Okay, well, that's much simpler and very easy to work with, so cool to know. Anyway, you did just see one unfortunate thing about using the gold earring for hearing. Enemies can get an action in before you get a chance to run away. So sometimes they will get to hit you before you flee. That said, you did also just see us get Lena up from, what was it, like 160 or so to now she's at 215. Without having to go back to town or use elements, just by equipping one accessory and then running away from battles. So, yeah. I think that's a pretty cool little gimmick to be aware of. The problem, of course, is the lower your current HP is, the less healing you'll get, because it increases your HP by a percentage. So if you're down to like 10 health, it's probably not going to be relevant. Wait, it's probably not going to be relevant to you, or the increased HP from the gold earring is probably not going to be relevant if you drop really low. But if you are like stuck between battles and you can't leave to go back to town, you might on occasion be able to use that trick that I just showed. You heal your party to full. If you proceed any further, there will be no turning back, Dawn. Even so, you still wish to go, Surge? Let's say give up now. I know you are lying, but mercy. Just don't die. And now this is an area we saw at the very start of the game in a flash forward. And if you remember, we saw what appears to be proof that we killed Kid. So, that's a bit foreboding. Anyway, rather than try using that gold earring trick to heal up, I'm going to go back to town, because that sounds like it would take way less time. I forget if there's another item you can get that has a similar effect to gold earring, but heals by, or increases HP by a larger amount. I think there might be. Anyway, just to think about the numbers real quick while we're resting. Lena went from like 180 something. It was what, 188 to 200? But then she went from 200 to 216? I don't know how that math will work out. But yeah, it does look to be about like 8%. So 1/12 of your max HP maybe is what you heal each time you... Well, not heal, but is how much it increases your health by. Okay. Yeah, I think it is 8%, roughly. Anyway, for today's video, just to set a target, or not video, but stream. I guess it's kind of both because I will upload it to YouTube after. I am going to aim to finish all of Fort Dragonia. No promises I'll succeed, but that is the goal or plan. And let's save real quick. Wait a second. I'm a dum-dum. I totally forgot that we should go grind for stat gains. Sailed all the way back to Arnie and didn't even think about that. The next dungeon has a whole bunch of bosses, so we definitely want to top up our stats as much as possible because some of them can be genuinely challenging. Fortunately, we've been having some pretty decent luck so far on stat gains, so fingers crossed we'll have a pretty smooth ride through Fort Dragonia, but only one way to find out. By the way, after Fort Dragonia, we do lose access to Glenn and Lena and basically everyone in our party. That's the whole reason I haven't worried about grinding up my other characters, is after the next dungeon, they will be gone for quite a while. I think there are, is it 6 boss battles in the dungeon? Might be 7. Whatever it is, we will care about Surge's stat gains between those boss battles because, of course, we're going to keep using him throughout the rest of the game. And we will care about Glenn's stats because even though it doesn't matter a lot how much you grind someone's stats before the part where you lose access to him, it does have a small effect. Basically, if you're not getting these mini stat gains between levels, you do miss out on some potential strength, but every time you level up, your character has a tendency to revert to the mean, or the expected value. Basically, there's an average stat for each level that the game expects the character to have. The further they diverge from that, say by getting these many stat gains, the more likely they are to get less or more stat gains to compensate. Nice. So Surge gets another strength up, Lena gets another. Man, Lena is blowing Glenn out of the water. After the next boss battle, Lena will have 24 strength, Surge will have 27, and Glenn will have 21. But anyway, as I was saying, the game will try to compensate if you're too high or too low in a stat by increasing or decreasing your stat gains accordingly. So, for the most part, if you don't use a character for, say, 10-15 boss battles, so they don't get any mini stat gains in between those battles, their stats will average back to the mean, and it'll be as though you hadn't grinded mini level ups at all throughout the game. That said, when I want to stress, when I say it'll average toward that, we're talking about tendencies and rough approximations. There can still be some effect that carries through, so by grinding Glenn's stats before we lose him, it may potentially cause him to have slightly higher stats when we get him back. Or it may not. It may be that it all washes out and it has no effect. There's no way to know, but I do want to be safe. And plus, of course, we want those stat gains for Surge anyway, so might as well. But yeah, I actually did the math on it in that I wrote a computer program to try to approximate the impact of mini stat gains. And it was only possible thanks to the help of a guy whose username was MKK, I don't remember the rest of it. He has a character guide on GameFAQs that has a lot of information. Anyway, he collected a ton of data about how the mini level ups work, and it's very comprehensive, and 2, it's very informative. It gives a lot of information that people the community either didn't know or only had a rough idea of. So I highly recommend it. But anyway, thanks to his work and talking to him about how different things work, I was able to come up with what I believe was a fairly good approximation of the stat gain system in Chrono Cross, and I used it to test the effect of getting many stat gains and first not getting them. And after I think it was 15 boss battles without doing many stat gains, there was no discernible impact in most cases. But it's been a long time since I did that, so don't quote me on the numbers, they could be off. And I may have messed up my approximations. This part of the dungeon is a super annoying one, in that I can never remember how to do it. Basically, when you come in here... One second. My game seems to have frozen on me. Huh. Yeah. I am going to switch to another screen real quick and see if we can maybe restart the client. Yeah, it looks like the game crashed on me, so give me 1 minute to sort that out. Sorry about that, guys. I haven't had it do that to me before. Strange. While I'm at it, I'm going to switch a battery real quick, so the audio will go out for about 20 to 30 seconds. Be right back. Alright, hopefully the audio's coming back online. Alright, hopefully we can hear me now. Let me just check OBS, make sure my sound is coming through. Yeah, okay, looks like it is. And I have the game back on. I'm sorry about that, guys. Don't know why the game crashed on me. It's the first time I think the PlayStation version's crashed on me in a long time, but it's not a big deal. Anyway, I am not going to count this as a reload because it was not caused by anything in-game or anything I did. It was a technical problem. But as I was saying, that puzzle always frustrates me because I can never remember how to solve it, so I just have to like guess and check as a few times until I find the right solution. Now I'll talk more about what the solution is once I go back to it. For now, I'm just going to do a different one instead. Now this one's actually a pretty fun one to me. The Watchkeeper faces north as we defend the fort. Now you might wonder what that means. Where do we want to go? North, east, south, or west? The Watchkeeper is the statue we see in front of us, and it is currently facing our direction. So if we say we want to go north, we would select voila! See, the direction the statue is facing is north. We selected north. That's how you figure out which input you want to go, or you should put in. Your body seems to be brimming with energy. Oh, a healing spot. Cool. So anyway, we managed to go to the, from our perspective, west pole, which apparently has a healing spot in it. Next, let's try to go to the hole in the north direction. The last time we fell down, we would have wanted to select east to go to the north hole. But the statue is probably facing a different direction. Oh, no. Okay. The statue faces a random direction each time you enter the room. In this case, we just happen to have it roll the same direction 2 times in a row. Alright, enemies! Okay, so that little pillar up there is where we want to go. But, let's not fight enemies here. No, get away, get away, get away! Okay. But we can't get to it from this hole, at least not right now. So now we've gone through the west and north holes as we see them. Let's try the east hole next. I was genuinely afraid we'd get in a fight there. Not that we couldn't beat the enemies, but there's just no value in fighting them. Okay, see how the statue is facing north now? So if we want to go to the east hole from our perspective, what way is east from his perspective? Well, right now he's facing what we would call north, so if we want to go east, we just hit east. Alrighty. And we activate the pillar. Or deactivate the pillar? We activate this thing, but visually it looked like what we did was actually deactivate it, because it looked like the color went away. So, Anyway, with that done, we can head this direction. And there are some chests there, but we are just going to ignore them because we don't need them. In a normal run, I would try to get all the chests, but one thing I do really enjoy about this run is we can ignore so many things because we just have no use for elements. Like, technically we can sell them or trade them for crafting materials, but realistically, we will always get so many elements just from our natural gameplay that we never need to go out of our way to get them. Anyway, that was nice and easy. Let's go over to this one. This is the one that I put off doing the last time. Well, not the last time. This is one where the game crashed last time, and then I decided not to go right back to it. But effectively, this puzzle is all about these little pathways being a maze. Now, you might think that's not a big deal, it's pretty easy. Since it's not very large, you could just guess and check your way through it. The trick is, this is a maze where pathways can move and shift. And to see what I mean, we come into this room, and thankfully the game didn't crash this time. We Dragonians are comprised of a head, body, and tail. Thou must change the order of the head, body, and tail to unveil a new path. Let it be head, body, then tail. So head, body, then tail lets us get to this button, which gets us stairs. They're like, oh, well, that's simple. Go to the stairs. Hint, it won't work. Because we run over here, and as you can already tell, the stairs don't lead, or they lead you up to a path, but that pathway doesn't connect to anything. So now we have to change the order of head, body, and tail, which is our party order, in order to change the paths of this area. Now, wrong. I forget what keys I have things mapped to on my keyboard. Ah! Well, anyway, before I mess with that some more, we can do this, and oh look, Glenn is now in our front. Then it is Surge, then Lena. Or is that Lena, then Surge? Yeah. So before it was head, body, and tail, but because we swapped the order of Glenn and Surge, it should be body, head, then tail. Let it be body, head, then tail. Now we have to go see what passes that gives us. As you can see, the path to the button is no longer there. The thing is, I can never remember what the correct solution is to get the various treasures or to get to the dungeon. Yeah, see, this is the correct solution because that pathway blocks us from going anywhere at all. I need to stop doing that. I keep hitting the button for full screen. That's what's going on. But yeah, let's try swapping party order again. Okay. Huh. Okay, give me 1 second while I look up what my hotkeys are. Hey. Just sorry, I completely forgot that I would need to know what my key bindings are, and I am struggling to find them. Controls, manage remap files, port 1 controls. Oh, wait. Why can't I find... Oh. Huh. Okie dokie. This is embarrassing. Configuration, no. Accessible. I will say I kind of hate RetroArch as a emulator because I find its setup for the menus and configurations extremely confusing. Okay, I'm just gonna brute force and try every key I can find. Yeah. So content, disk options, save state options, restart menu toggle, grab mouse toggle screenshot. Huh. I might have to just go find a keyboard? Or not a keyboard, a controller? Hmm. No, I shouldn't need to. It says it should be. Yeah, I was right. It should be the Q and W keys, but they aren't working. What? So that's very weird. It clearly says key Q. Huh. I am thoroughly bewildered. Alright, give me 1 second. I might think I have a controller right here, but I might lose my mic when I hook it up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this next part without my mic, I believe. So I am sorry about that. I'll try to be as fast as I can. Actually, wait, no. I do have a second USB port. Maybe. No, I don't. Yeah. So I'm going to lose my mic for this section. Sorry. There will be no audio for it. I can do voiceover commentary in the future if necessary. But long story short, I'm gonna have to swap my party order around and just try different party orders until I find the right one. Once I do that, I'll bring my mic back. So, sorry for the silence. Or is it? I hate this. Oh, wait, is my mic still working? I think it might be. So, sweet. Yeah, it looks like it is in fact working, but the audio quality has dropped. I believe I have swapped over to Bluetooth instead of USB. Basically, my laptop only has two USB slots. I have to use one for a wireless mouse because the keyboard on my laptop died. And it's a pretty old and beat up laptop, by the way. But anyway, I have to use one USB slot for the keyboard and mouse that I use. And then I can use the other one for a mic with decent audio quality. I usually have it plugged in because of that. Or apparently for Bluetooth connection, which has, strangely enough, it's not giving me any audio at all. So, yeah, I can't hear the game right now. I hope you guys can. If not, I'm sorry, and I'll get this sorted out as soon as I can. Basically, once we get past this stupid puzzle. Also, the game did crash on me again, I'm imagining, because I kept messing with configuration files while playing it. I do not know what was going on with the controls or why they were such a pain, but... Wait a second. Oh, shoot. I think I swapped my party order before talking to the statue thing in here, so I think it didn't count me swapping the party order as a swap. Let's see. Let it be head, body, then tail. What? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, yeah, this is what we wanted. Anyway, once you know what the right order to put your party in, this is a very easy puzzle. But until then, it is just guess and check. And wait a second, I still can't swap my party order. It's not. The L1 and R1 keys are not working. Oh, the select key swaps? Okay, I'm just a stupid idiot. That's all it is. Apparently, the select key swaps your party order, not the L1 and R1 buttons. Give me 1 second, and can I end the stream? Pretend it crashed? Let me try plugging my mic back in so I can actually hear the game, and then see if we can go from there. Okie dokie. Yep, I could have done this the whole time. I'm a dum-dum. That's all it is. Yeah. Okie dokie. Is the mic working now? Okay, looks like the mic is. Now let me turn the headphones back on. Wait a second. This is a crazy amount of difficulties to have for what is ultimately being me just being dumb and thinking I needed to hit the L1 and R1 keys when what I actually needed to hit was the select key, or I guess button. Anyway, we now have, what would this be? I think this is body, tail, then head. Yeah, this should be body, tail, then head. Is that the correct order, or do I need to swap things around? Yeah, body, tail, then head. So we've tried head, tail, body, or I'm sorry, head, body, tail. Body, tail, head. Ooh, an earth charm. I don't know if that'll ever be useful, but, you know. Since that got us a treasure chest, I don't think this is the right solution, but let's just be safe. Now, see, we need to have a connection between this path and this one. Then we can knock that little tablet over to form a path. So, let's try tail, head, then body next. God, I cannot believe how dumb I was. Wait, I think it's saying there's still no desktop audio, isn't? Yeah, we're not hearing the game. Wow. Huh. Volume mixer. Can we hear anything now? No. Huh. What is going on? Well, how about that? Okay, yeah, I think that fixed the audio. Sorry, that was a lot of trouble, which comes from just trying to get all the different audio channels lined up properly, and it all stemmed from me just being an idiot, thinking I had to hit L1 or R1 to change party order instead of select. But I mean, it's a PlayStation controller. Why wouldn't you use the L1 and R1 keys for that? Or for something at least. Anyway, the good news is, while this is not the correct solution, it is a solution that gets us an item. What will that item be? An electro ball. So, huh. Okay, this is weird. The game audio seems to be recording now. But it seems to... Wait, what? Oh, hold on. I still can't hear the game audio, but it does say the game audio is being recorded. I think... Is it still in... What is going on? I'm so thoroughly confused. Uh, yeah, everything. I'm Oh, I'll just accept that I don't get to hear the game audio for now because I don't want to waste even more time trying to deal with this. Sorry for anyone watching, either live or in a VOD. Very strange. Anyway, so that was tail, head, and body. Let's try doing this. We are now head, tail, then body, right? Yeah. We, I believe, have not tried this combination yet. But yeah, once you do this once, you can just make a point of remembering what the solution is and save yourself tons of time and trouble. Okay, this is seemingly not the correct one, right? Yeah, it looks wrong, but let me just double check. Whoa! Anyway, once you know the correct solution, you can just make a note of remembering it, or you can look online to, like, what the solution is. But if you're just blindly guessing and testing, it is very tedious, and I do not think this is a good puzzle. I think guess and check is generally not desirable as a puzzle solution. Okay, but this is pretty close. We just need that to be shifted over one more space. I think it's generally not a good design for puzzles, but if you're going to do it, I think it's important that the effect of your guess should be easy to see quickly. That way you can keep guessing and checking very quickly, at least. Did we try tail, body, head? I don't remember. This is part of what makes it such a pain is you can forget which ones you've tried and then repeat yourself over and over. Blah, blah, blah. This... I don't think this is right, but let me check. It might be. I think it is, actually. Yeah! Sweet. Cool, 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 cool. Ah! Run for the fight! Run for the fight! Ah! Oh, no, it's coming back around! It's coming back around! Thank God, thank God, thank God. Anyway, this is the only puzzle dungeon, or honestly, I think in the entire game, that I don't think is good in general. Oh, it doesn't even. I thought that would, like, fold over and make a bridge, but instead just lowers the whole platform. So then you still have to run back. That's. Ah! Sorry. Yeah. Not a fan of that design, but we got there in the end. Now, one thing you may be noticing is we aren't fighting anyone, not even bosses. That is about to change. Huh. One second. I'm wondering if maybe my voice is coming through the computer's mic instead of my headset's mic. Is it? I don't know how to tell, honestly. I know my computer's microphone is far worse. Well, how about that? Uh, I don't know. Well, I managed to mute the game audio again. That's not right. Okay, well, hopefully the audio quality is okay. Honestly, Ellie, at this point, I'm not even sure you can hear my voice at all. Okay, cool. I just pulled up my stream on my phone just to make sure you could at least hear my voice, and yeah, you can. So that's... The quality may not be good. If so, I'm sorry, but as long as it's working, I'll just keep going. Anyway, what I was gonna say is us not fighting any battles, including boss battles, is about to change. The way this dungeon is set up, the 2 puzzles that we did so far can be done without boss battles, but after that, there are boss battles for the rest of the puzzles. Now, this one's an interesting puzzle. I am going to fight this bat just because it's going... Well, no, I think we can avoid it. If we run away from it and then we can't avoid it, I'll go ahead and fight it. The way it flies around this room can make it a pain to avoid sometimes. Let's see. Okay. Alright, I think we got past it. Each side of the room has 2 chests, and each chest influences those 2 paths that go around the circles on either end. Yeah, I'm just gonna kill this enemy. Anyway, there's 2 circles with a path in between, as we could see. And... Oh, wait. My party order's all changed. It throws me off. And each circle has a bridge-like thing that's attached to it that rotates. The 2 chests control those pathways or bridges and which direction they are facing and how they rotate. Now, I don't remember off the top of my head what the controls are, but this puzzle is a lot more interesting because it's actually very predictable in that you can look and see what the impact of your actions are and then know what impact your next action will have. If you care. Or you can just guess instead. None of the puzzles in this game are difficult enough that you can't just brute force them. We do that. You get a pathway to... okay, unfortunately, to here. Now, if that didn't affect the pathway on the left, this will get us to the boss. Yeah. There is room on the left side there. Or wait, is that the room with the boss? There's 2 rooms. One has the boss, one has like an optional treasure. Okay. Yeah. So that's whatever. It's an item we might use at some point. Probably not, but no harm in getting it. So wait, how do we do this? We need the path on the left to face the way it currently is. But we need to be able to get on this path here. Question is, will the path on the left still be facing right? Yes, okay, cool. I wasn't sure if it would be. And here is the boss battle. This, I believe, is named Giant Gloop. Oh, wait, no. Okay, now I'm thoroughly confused. I guess my memory of this dungeon is significantly worse than I thought. So this is just a Dragoon enemy. I think it's like a mini boss. Well, okay. I swear, I have played this game quite a few times. I've done this dungeon plenty of times. I'm not sure why I forgot how this dungeon is. Oh! 1 second, I think I might know. No, never mind. 1 month. I think I messed up on the other side of the rooms. I think there's actually... Yeah. There's 3 doorways, not 2. That was my bad. Yeah, I went to the door in the middle on the right side, but there's actually another door on the bottom part of the right side. That's what I messed up. Let's put Surge back in the front. Now Lena and Glenn are not in their original positions, but it's close enough that my mind should be quite... Yeah, this is what was throwing me off. I need to come to this doorway. Before I do, though, I'm just going to play it safe because, 1, I don't remember how hard this boss is, and 2, I've had so many technical issues, I'm genuinely afraid. So, we're going to come back here real quick and save. I'm not going to run all the way to town to heal up, though. Alright. With the game saved, we can now fight what I believe is Giant Glue. And if I remember right, it should be a relatively easy battle. But it is a blue innate, so we don't have any effective damage against him, in that we don't have any red innates. Oh no! Okay, that's actually more tanky than I expected. Glenn dealing 6 damage there is hilarious. Surge dealt 20 with his 2s. Okay, that lowered evasion, which is going to be an issue. Yeah, Lena is hitting much harder than Glenn, so we'll use her over him. And of course, Surge will be our biggest damage dealer. Take him. I wonder what that would feel like. Painful from the looks of it. Oh, good crit. 61 damage. And 79 damage. Yeah, this enemy is actually more difficult than I expected, solely in that it has way more not durability, but what would you call it? To me, durability sounds more like HP, but it has a lot of, what, armor, I guess? And of course, if we wanted, we could go get Greco and bring him into the party, switch equipment around to get him set up to be one of our main damage dealers. I don't think we need to, but it's an option. Ooh, Iceland is scary. Yow. I don't remember if Iceland has a chance to freeze. A number of the blue elements do, and if you get frozen, it is basically the same as die. Ooh, unfortunate misses. Ice blast. Ow. Yikes. Yeah, see, frozen can't move. I think that means he will not get stat gains, and if so, I may want to reload. Dang, this thing is tanky. I did not think it would tank so much damage so well. Okay. Oh, that's right. Frozen is like death, except that it does wear off over time. If everyone is frozen, then it's a game over. Or if some people are dead and others are frozen, then you just game over. But if a character is frozen and your other characters are alive, you can keep playing it out like I did there, and the frozen can wear off and you're fine. Okay. Honestly, I get frozen so rarely, I completely forgot that you can get cured from it. HP, strength, and magic. Magic doesn't matter, but hey. 27 strength on Surge is crazy. Lena has 24 strength, 16 resistance. Glenn has 21 strength. That is atrocious compared to Surge and Lena. That said, yeah, we're gonna run back to Arnie so we can heal up for one, and so we can grind a few mini level ups, hopefully get some more stats, and who knows, maybe Glenn will decide to actually get some strength. To be clear, 21 isn't like heinous, or heinously. Is heinously a adverb? Anyway, 21 isn't like so horribly bad it's like we should make fun of it. It's just compared to Lena and Surge, it is looking really bad. Greco has more strength than Glenn does, and I haven't used Greco to get many stat gains in how long? So, Glenn should be very strong later in the game if we can reach that point of the game, because he gets special weapons called the Einlancers. And he gets one no matter what. But you can actually get what's called dual Einlancers, where there's two of them. And if you do, one second, I'm seeing if I can fix my audio real quick. If you do get the two Einlancers, it is really gross in terms of how strong it is. Second best item in the game, or weapon in the game. Alright. It's just really distracting to me that I can't hear any of the audio in my headset. But yeah, dual Einlancers are almost the best weapon in the game, but the Master Mune, which is a weapon Surge can get, is a bit better. Yeah. So my headset software is not reporting any errors, so that means it's some sort of configuration issue. Apparently, when I reconnected my headset, I didn't, or well, I needed to do something to get it to go back to my headset for audio, and I didn't do it. I don't know what it is. For what it's worth, I only got this headset like a week ago, so I'm still getting used to it. Unlucky? Yeah. Enemies deal basically no damage at this point. Oh no, he did 1 damage. But yeah, the good news is I don't really care too much about these streams or videos as like an entire thing. I mostly want to use them to document my playthrough. So in the future, I can go back and edit the videos to get like the boss battles and maybe any other specifically interesting parts. And then I'll probably just re-record the audio, like do a voiceover, talk about them. And that should give a much better product than the current version of the stream is. That said, if you do happen to watch the stream or VOD, thank you. Hope you have a good time. I especially hope you enjoy laughing at me as I make a fool of myself on numerous occasions. I am very knowledgeable of some... Oh my god! That is basically a perfect level. HP, strength, resistance, magic, magic resistance. Wow. Nutty good. Lena gets strength and... Hey! Glenn finally decided to get strength too. Alrighty. That's actually huge. That is huge. Okay. So Glenn is going to be 23 strength after the next boss battle. Surge is going to be 29. Lena is going to be 26. Alright. Well, let's do one more battle in case I can get HP. I'm pretty sure I can't get HP from this battle, but it'll only take a moment. Oh, a single one is not enough to kill him yet. Alrighty. Let's just verify that there's no stats to be gained, and then we'll heal up and run back to Fort Fergona. Well, it's more like sail back, but same difference. Now, obviously, in a normal place where you could just heal in the dungeon after battles using elements, and we could do that with the gold earring trick I showed earlier, but we needed to grind many levels anyway, so I'm fine with running back here. Plus, with how low our health was, the gold earring trick would have been very inefficient. Would have saved us 100 gold though, because that's going to be super relevant. Gold is actually very important in this game if you are crafting prism equipment later in the game, or otherwise known as rainbow equipment. That stuff is super expensive. We won't be able to craft it in this run, so it's not going to really matter, but yeah, if you want to get a full set of rainbow equipment on all your characters, you will almost certainly have to grind money. And fortunately, I mentioned the Iron Lancer and the Master Mune. Both of those are better than rainbow equipment, or in certain situations, rainbow equipment is better than Master Mune, but in the vast majority of cases. Can you hear me now? I have no idea. Yeah, I'm having so many technical difficulties. I am genuinely frustrated. OBS does say it's currently recording my mic. I don't know why it cut out all of a sudden. Ah! Okay, forget it. I'm just fighting these guys. I'm too frustrated. But yeah, I was talking, doing stuff, and then I glanced over and saw OBS said there was no sound coming through from my mic, and I don't know why. As far as I could tell, nothing changed when it happened. But anyway, I only have a couple more boss battles after this, so I'm just gonna finish up the dungeon, be very sad, and probably have to spend an hour or two. Well, no, probably not 2 hours. I'll probably have to spend like an hour debugging things after I finish this dungeon. And I cannot believe this still all came from the fact I thought you used the L and R buttons to adjust audio. Also, Lena just took that much damage. That's very frustrating. I honestly don't know if I can beat the next boss with her health that low. Well, without her dying anyway. Right. So I don't know what the correct path through this maze is. I'm trying to remember where you stand to avoid that. Oh, okay, yeah, you can walk this way to avoid him. Cool. Wait, how did I get... Can you get in a fight with him even if he's on the platform above you? I think you can. Yeah, that's what happened. Tell you what. I'm actually going to use the gold earring trick with Lena, but I'm not going to actively look for battles. I'm just going to throw it on her, that way every time we run away we get a bit of health back. Will it matter? I don't know, but it can't hurt. Yeah, okay. Wait. Oh, I would have sworn that he had gone far enough down that we wouldn't get in a fight with him, but okay. Hey, Lena got some help. That's, something. Anyway, what I have learned from this whole ordeal is I am never unplugging anything in the middle of a stream. It just causes problems. Oh, wow. I thought he was on a different level than me, but I was completely mistaken. We were on the same elevation, actually. Yeah. Bush Basher. Heal All. Heal All is an amazing element. But yeah, apparently I need to just never unplug anything unless I can take the time to debug things after, because this is insane how much trouble I'm having, and I honestly don't know what the reason is. So it looks like we want to wind up on that left path. I don't know how we get there, but at least we have an idea of a destination. So the goal is to get to the far left side of the screen, I believe. So we may have to come back here and look for a path that takes us that way. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Let's try going this way now. Now, these things are a bit annoying. They go invisible like that, and then they pop up. And it can be difficult to know where they'll pop up. Once you learn their patterns, I think you can tell pretty easily. Oh god, please. No. So Lena's gonna take more damage. Oh my god. Well, now the gold earring trick is going to be completely worthless, and we are going to have to go back to town before the next boss. Well, that or we could just swap Lena out for somebody else at the save point. Huh. I wonder if maybe that would be a better thing. We wouldn't have Lena for the fight, which would be sad, but it would save us time. Normally, I don't care too much about time, but one, I'm mindful of the fact I am recording this, and I don't want the recording to be too terribly long and bloated. But two, I'm also just in a foul mood because of the technical issues, so... Huh. There is a way to avoid this guy, and I do not remember the exact movement you have to do it. But yeah, I had no idea those paper whatever things could deal so much damage. That paper moon attack did 130 damage to Lena in one go. Ew. I might have to just fight this. I was trying to see if I could just run around after I had de-aggroed it, but did not work. Yeah, I guess going back to town is probably the right call instead of trying to just swap Lena out. Because Surge is also pretty low. And is only going to get lower. And Lena gets knocked out. Yeah, I'll be honest, I hope nobody is watching right now, or that nobody watches in the VOD. If you do get to this point, I highly recommend just skipping. Well, I guess it's a little late to say it, but like, maybe I should make a note in like the video description saying, hey, there are technical issues, I highly recommend you skip past, or at least like, fast forward through. What the? Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to go back to town to heal it. Anyway, this does show how just getting the best equipment you can get as you go does not trivialize the entire game. Earlier in the game, we were kind of just ruffle stomping all of the random encounters we came across because our stats were just good enough. Whoa, where's that thing gonna pop up? Yeah, we should be fine. Especially when we got the iron equipment before going to Viper Manor. That set us up really well. But now we can see that enemies can deal really good damage. Even with our pretty decent gear. We're not actually at the best gear we could have because I haven't crafted iron helms. So if I gave my characters iron helms, I could cut the magic damage they take by a bit. But yeah. This dungeon is definitely a damage spike for random encounters. And part of that is because after this dungeon, you get access to the next tier of equipment. So this is kind of the part of the game where it's like, okay, it's going to get as hard as it can before you get to your next set of equipment. Or I guess that's not a good way to say that. What am I saying? Basically, you've reached the point where the current tier of equipment you have is reaching the end of its shelf life. So your equipment is at the weakest at this point of the game. Or something like that. I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm not motivated or focused at all. If I was having these troubles offline when I was playing by myself, I would have just got up, walked away for like 10 minutes, and honestly, maybe I should have just done that anyway. I could have like paused the stream for like 10 minutes and tried to sort out the technical issues and then resumed it. That might have been better. I don't know. I'll have to think about it after the stream is over so I can decide how I want to handle things like this in the future. Seriously, why does this game not use the L1 and R1 buttons? That's so weird. I didn't even think about it before, but yeah. To me, it just makes sense that, like, oh, you want to swap your party order, hit L1 or R1 to rotate either left or right. I honestly don't remember if L1 or R1 do anything at all. Wait, they might control the camera during battles? Yeah, I think you could like rotate what type of mode you have the camera on, like whether it's zoomed in really close or zoomed out, or if it like follows. Like, I think there was something like where the camera could follow behind you as you move or something. Maybe I don't know. I was going to say I'll have to try it out, but no, I'm not going to try that out while streaming. I'll test that when I'm offline by myself. Now that I think about it, the game even crashed on me before I had the other issues. Before I unplugged anything, it crashed as soon as I went in the one room in that checks your party order. I don't know if that's related to anything or not, but huh. Okay. Now this enemy I think is a blue. No, can't be a blue innate. We just defeated the blue boss with giant blue. I think this is the green boss. If so, then I don't want Glenn to be my damage dealer. I honestly don't remember if this is the yellow or the green boss. The name, I believe, is Torminator, something like that. Yeah, it should be green since the thing behind it is. Yeah, it's like Torminator, something like that. Oh, Torsoid. Well, I was kind of half correct. But yeah, if I remember right, it deals a lot of physical damage with its attacks, but not much magical damage. Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna act sooner, that's why I went 2 screw. Okay, yeah. Nice damage. Yeah, I vaguely think it has It acts every 14 minutes of time, give or take the random variance. If I'm right, I could spree here. Yeah. And then I can spree again. So yeah, there I was able to one spree. Alright. So there's a one spree. Spree. And spree. I cannot believe none of those missed. That's nutty. I shouldn't have said anything. I'll probably miss my next attack for jinxing myself, but yeah, so far I don't think any of my attacks missed. As I said, I'll jinx myself. Okay, that's... Wait. Huh. Okay. So that time I did one spree into a spree, and it acted. So I guess it must be on 13 AP that it can act, not 14 like I thought. Oh wow, I was that close to killing it without before its last action, and it got to act and kill me. That's funny. Reload counter goes up to 17. Alright, yeah. If I hadn't opened my mouth and jinxed myself to make me miss those attacks, I would have won. I know that's not actually what happened, but it's just funny that as soon as I said something, it really did. I did miss 3 times in a row on threes. Do I want moon glasses for the durability, or... See, I don't know just how moon glasses work. Different people have said different things about these and sunglasses. So would they actually be better than the bronze helmet? I think so, but I'm honestly not 100% certain. Wait, does Glenn have any good offensive equipment that I could give to Lena? Nope. Okay. I was just making sure I didn't have any equipment on Glenn that would be better on Lena before I went. Anyway, that fight was very close, so I think we should be alright to just try it again. Hopefully we get it on the first try. If not, probably shouldn't take too many. But yeah, we were able to one spree several times, but that last time, unless I'm mistaken, he acted when on this, what was it, 13, wait, yeah, on the 13th unit of time, whereas I thought he acts on the 14th unit of time. So it may be that he has an AP stat of 13, and then the variance was making him roll up to a 14 instead. Now, the first round of combat, you don't know what his current AP is, so a lot of times it's better to just mash threes so you can find out where he's at in the cycle. Okay, so 1 spree 3. Here, to be safe, I'm going to 2 spree. Oh, good crit. Huh. So 1 spree into a 2 spree is what? 5 plus 7 is 12. So I guess he can act every 12, not 13 or 14. So 2, 3, 9, 10. Yeah, we just 3 here, go up to 16. He'll act. Please hit Glenn. Yay! Yeah, I think we have to just play as though he has an AP stat of 12. I think that... Man, I thought it was 13, though. Oh. I use 7, 8... So yeah, see, this is 11. So if his AP stat, as in how many units of time he'll wait before attacking, is 12, there was no chance he could hit here. But because of the variance in the game, it's possible that I could be able to like use a 1 here and he wouldn't act. But this 3 should guarantee he acts, I believe. Yeah. That's some good damage. That was 147 damage. Okay, he's low now. As long as Glenn doesn't die here, we should be good to kill him next turn. Well, I mean, Glenn... Oh wait, he attacks twice, though. Yeah, know what? Glenn did die, and at this point, I just don't care. Oh, well, what I was thinking was I would just accept that Glenn's not going to get stat gains from this boss. Even though that sucks, but he had an opportunity there to also take Surge out, which I would not have accepted. So, do we reload to get Glenn another point of strength, is the question we're faced with here. I mean, Glenn's going to leave our party for quite a while, so it probably doesn't matter to reload. That said, I'm going to do it because I don't know for sure that letting Glenn be dead in this fight would not alter his ultimate stats. And even just 1 point of strength on Glenn later in the game would be enough to matter. Or could be. I don't know for sure that would. Now that I think about it, I'm going to give Glenn the moon glasses. And Lena his power glove. The idea is I am not giving Lena any defensive tools. And I'm giving Surge an iron helmet, so he's getting 1 defensive tool. And then I am giving Glenn 2 defensive tools. Basically, I'm just banking on Lena taking... on Glenn taking damage. Instead of Lena or Surge, potentially. Effectively, I want as much damage and accuracy on Lena and Surge as I can get. And then Glenn can just sit there tanking hits. And since he's not going to be attacking, he can just have as much defense as possible. That way, if he does take more hits than the other guys, he may still survive. This is not the optimal strategy here. I'm not playing well. I'm just tilted and playing poorly. That's all it is. Oh, no. So that's 100 damage. Not bad, not bad. Alright. And because of the Glenn having all the defensive tools I could give him, well, not all of them. I could have given him like a knee pad or silver, you know. But because of the tools I gave him, he actually didn't take much damage from that. Eight, 14. Now, Lena. Oh wait, no, that was Glenn who got hit. Cool. If Lena had got hit from that, like I thought, I was gonna say Lena's gonna take a lot of damage. Now, one thing about what I'm doing right now that might seem odd is I am trying to use a lot of threes. Now, in general, there's the question of trade-off of accuracy versus power. And on average, twos do deal more damage than threes, and threes do deal more damage than two when you account for the chance to hit. But threes also have an extra perk, which is threes can crit, whereas ones and twos cannot normally. Yowza. Technically, you can crit with a 1 or 2, but that's only if you have a weapon that's going to auto-crit. Okay, because I took that defensive equipment off of Lena, she died. And yeah, as I said, it was not an optimal strategy, and as we see, I should not have died. So, yeah. I want to check something real quick before I reload. So that's 10, 11, 13. So yeah, it definitely can act after 13. Can it act after 12 is what I want to find out next. Well, I guess we're not going to find out. So part of why that fight went poorly was just RNG of who the boss targeted. Part of it was we missed a fair number of our sprees, and then part of it's also just that I changed the loadout of my character equipment to something I probably shouldn't have, and I'm probably being punished for it. Like, Lena would have survived that if I had not changed her equipment. And her surviving that one extra attack would quite possibly have been all it took for me to win the battle. Especially since even if we didn't kill the boss in the next round, he might have just not hit Lena. Might have hit Glenn or Surge instead. Anyway, I'm going to give this one more try with our current setup, and then Man, I don't want to end the stream on a super negative note, especially with all the problems I had. Like, I don't want to end by being like, man, I got stuck, this sucks. right? That was, I think, 110, 111 damage. And no, Lena takes something like 85, 86 damage from that, whereas Glenn only took, I think, 57. You know what? It just occurred to me, I can slip a 2 in here. So Lena used 7, Glenn used 2, that's on 9. Oh, I could have actually slipped in an extra 1 too. So that's 9, this is 10. Surge will go to 11. And now we 3-3 for 17. See? Like, that shows how poorly I was playing the last round. I was whiffing on so much extra damage for no real reason. So we're on 7, 10, 11, 17. Okay, she should survive this. Now we just need him to target anyone but Lena. And on our... Well, oh, he's not attacking twice this round. I thought this was the turn he would attack twice. Anyway, that was 3 and 7 for 10. Surge will go to 11. And 17. If he hits Lena, I am sad. He has another... Oh, wait. Seriously, I thought he was attacking twice again. I do not know his attack patterns at all, I guess. But yeah, I swear, both of those last 2 turns I thought he was going to attack twice. Oh, maybe it's only when he drops to critical. I wonder if that's the case. Well, he's critical here and he didn't attack twice. Am I crazy? I am definitely going to go back and watch this fight and see if I can figure out what's going on. Okay. Well, on the one hand, yes, I played the fight way better this time than I did before because I was using 17 stamina per cycle, whereas before I think I was using 14 or 15. But also, the boss just never seemed to hit anyone twice. That's confusing. Oh, and Glenn actually got +2 strength? Okay. I am so very glad I decided to take the time to reload and refight the boss to get Glenn that stat boost. Because the odds of 1 strength at this point affecting him like 15, 20 star levels down the road is much smaller than the odds of 2 strength doing so. +2 strength will make him more useful in the next couple battles if I want to use him for that. And 1 resistance isn't bad, so... Okay, well... I am still not happy with this stream because of technical issues, my stupidity, and then me just being in a bad mood from all that, so I started playing worse, but I did turn around at the end, figured out what I needed to do for that boss. I'm very happy I actually thought about it and got to where I was cycling in a few hits from Glenn to improve things. So, my mood's improved. Oh, I don't know how much that comes through in my voice, but I'm happy. Well, I'm happy about that. I'm frustrated about the other things, so mixed bag. But I'm definitely glad I didn't end the stream when I was thinking about it, because I would have ended on a sour note where I was much less happy, so... Oh my god! Okay, now I'm both happy and sad for the... about something really silly. I just realized something. You know how I ran all the way back to Arnie to heal up? There's a healing point in the dungeon. I, 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 it was the first thing I did when I came to the dungeon. Well, no, the first thing I did was go to the one puzzle room and have the game crash on. Wait, why am I going this way? Oh, it's silly. But no, seriously, there was that red triangle thing in the puzzle area with the statue and the rotating floor. The one where the statue faces one way, you have to decide directions relative to which way the statue is facing. There's a healing point there, isn't there? Like, I'm not crazy. Let me go back to it. Yeah, and it was, the west hole in that room takes you to a healing point, right? And if that's the case, then this is going to be so embarrassing. But also, it'll be hilarious, and it'll be a perfect way to end the stream. Just a stream filled with mishaps. It's to end with me realizing, yes, I am that dumb. But yeah, I was trying to mention earlier in the stream, then something happened where I focused on a technical issue. But I can be very knowledgeable about this game. I know a lot of stuff about it. I can actually be pretty good with it in terms of strategy, understanding mechanics, all that sort of stuff. But I can also be the stupidest dumb person you will ever meet in your life at times. Yeah, your body seems to be brimming with energy. Yep, that healed me to full. So, yeah. To be fair, going back to town was necessary to grind mini levels. So most of the time I left, it was perfectly fine. But there was that one time where, I think Lena died and Surge dropped really low or something on my way to the tourist site. I ran back to town to heal. That was completely unnecessary. I could have just gone to that healing point. So, just as a reminder, I can be very smart at times, but I can also be very dumb at times. I hope you enjoy watching the wild fluctuations between the two, because that's gonna characterize everything I ever do in my life, I imagine. Anyway, with me realizing that, I am genuinely in a much better mood, so I am glad to end this on a happy note. I did not get as far as I wanted. I wanted to finish the whole dungeon. There's still a little bit more to go. I think there's 4 bosses left. So, it's okay. Next video, I'll probably do those bosses and a bit more. That said, next video probably won't be tomorrow. I'll probably be playing a different game tomorrow instead. Partially just because I want to shake things up. I don't want to just fixate too much on one thing. But also partially because I got really frustrated, so a break from the game for a day might do me good. That said, if you happen to watch this, I am sorry that I got frustrated. I'm sorry about all the technical issues caused by whatever. My stupidity and just computers being wonky. But I hope you enjoyed watching me suffer, or at least had, learned something. Maybe like that Taurusoid fight, I learned as I went, so I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you when I see you.